Hello, welcome to the start of another week in the shed. More of the same, but got to be done. So I'm going to get on with cleaning this bench off again. It's all I ever seem to do now. Fill this bench up, clean it up, chuck stuff away and do a bit of painting. But I'm just going to be cleaning this lot up to start with. At least I'm going to have him up here. I don't have him up here when I'm brushing the walls off or doing any of that stuff, because it gets a bit manky in the air up here. And he's got enough problems with his little snout. Ain't you, Fig? Yep, he has. Oh well, onward and upward. Let's get cleaning. Well, I'm getting through this pile of shit on here. I've even cleaned up this pencil pot. I do wonder sometimes whether I'm right in the head. But I did throw the ones that didn't work away. I don't think I'm completely mental. The old Nobix Royale hadn't made the cut. I started to clean it and it was all buggered up. It won't twist properly, it won't turn, it's all knackered. So that had to go. And it's been on a shelf for years. I ain't used it for a long time, so it's just not worth pissing about with. Kiln's cleaned up alright and it appears to be working. I'm just going to make sure it gets up to temperature and then the thermostat and everything works. That's it, the thermostat's working. It got up to 225 and then it's switching off and on the way it should. I'm pleased that's all working, because I quite like that little thing. There you go, the little light's gone out, it's switched off now. Good. And now the bench is clear again, other than me cleaning stuff. Ready for another lot. Move the bench out of the way a bit. Now I'm just going to try and get these other two shelves off where I've got my little oven I used to use for heat treatment, and that was just a little solder hot station down there that's got the batteries on it. So I'm going to get that lot down, clean the oven up, the batteries and that'll be in the bin. I'll keep the asbestos bits, but yep, get on with that now. There you go, mini oven, all clean and sparkly. I only ever use it for heat treating up here. But you could warm your pies up in there. That reminds me of when I was a younger man and we'd finished our basic training and we went up to 8-6 to start our trade training at the college up there. We were being shown around, being told where everything was and wasn't, and where we could go and couldn't go. And I think it was a sergeant who was showing us around, because we had been for quite some time in an all-male environment doing our basic training, and there was girls' toilets at 8-6, and we were told that we weren't allowed in them, like we would want to go in them, but not even to warm our pies in the bunny burners, which caused a bit of laughter amongst the group who were being shown round, including me, even though I didn't have a clue what he was talking about. I was a rather naive teenager. Fortunately, someone else in our group, who was also as naive, and maybe a little bit more naive than me for admitting it, asked what a bunny burner was. So I found out. Alright, well that bench is out. I'll just take that little shelf off, clean these containers up, move that old vice and that old tea urn, and then wash these walls down and the ceiling. I reckon I can get most of that ceiling painted now if I get it cleaned off, and most of this wall. Then I've got to get all this lot out. Most of these containers have got something in them. Just need to clean them all off and put them on a shelf in the other half. Right, you got to go down the house. We're going to be doing dirty stuff. We don't want to fill your lungs up. Good boy. Well, there's the mandatory first coat. After a bit of cleaning on that and the ceiling. Let that dry and carry on. So here we are with this bit. It's had 3 coats of paint now. Don't look too bad. There's obviously stuff grinning through all over the place. I'm not too worried about that. But the important thing is the entire ceiling is now painted. That's all I've got left to do now is get these cupboards off and get this bit of wall and the rest of this wall painted, washed down and painted. That is a little bit more involved because I've got the plumbing and that to sort out and the water heater that I don't think that was leaking anyway. But so I've got to get that all deplumbed and get this lot out. I want to try and save some of these cupboards if I can. It depends how they turn out when I pull them down, but we'll see how that goes when I get them down. But it's certainly a bit of a landmark getting this ceiling all painted. I mean, what you can't know about out there in YouTube land is what it was like up here, smell and just the general atmosphere up here. Actually, it was, I suppose, acrid is the best way I can describe it. To be honest with you, looking back over that way now, it don't even look that big, but when I first had the fire, and it was, when I first had the fire and it was burnt, I mean that end really in some ways was easier to deal with because it was so bad up there and the front of the shed was burnt out in that half. And obviously I had to repair and replace all that and pretty much everything had to be dragged out of there because it was all burnt and buggered. It weren't so bad at that point, in a way, because I had to get on and do that. Obviously I got messed about a bit, well, quite a lot by the insurance, and if it hadn't been for the GoFundMe page I wouldn't have been able to have got on with it the way I did. It would have been months before I could have, and God knows what would have happened to the shed in that time, all the while it was exposed to the elements. But for the first couple of months, weeks, whatever, it was just because I had that money from the GoFundMe page, I was able to get on with that and do it. Wasn't great, but I could do that. This half was different. I mean, this half was, like I say, coming up here actually made you a bit ill. I mean, it's I don't think it was a particularly healthy environment to be in, and especially cleaning the walls and that, cleaning the stuff in here. Everything was covered in a dirty, sulphury shit. And I wouldn't say I was depressed, but it took me a while to actually get on and get started with this end, because it just seemed like a bit of an insurmountable task, to be honest with you. However, I'm getting there now, but I definitely wouldn't be as advanced as I am if it hadn't been for the YouTube channel. I think it really was that to give me the kick up the arse to get on and start doing this end, because it was hard. It was just hard facing it, to be honest with you. So, I'm eternally grateful to anyone who contributed to the GoFundMe page, because without that, I really would have been buggered. I never actually got to see who donated what or anything. I don't know whether you're supposed to or not, but I never really could thank anyone properly, I don't think, for that, and I feel a little bit inadequate for that. But you certainly do have my thanks for that. I mean, it was it certainly got me out of a major hole I was in at the time and let me get on with doing what I had to do. So So thanks again to everyone for that. And thanks to everyone for watching the videos, because I can be pretty sure that this would not be as advanced as it is. It's taking forever anyway, but it wouldn't even be as advanced as it is if it wasn't for the fact that I've got quite a lot of encouragement. What are you doing down there, Fig? Leave me alone. But I certainly got a lot of encouragement from all the comments on the YouTube channel and just from everyone out there in general. But before I go, it was my birthday yesterday. Have a look at this. Claire and Jim come in last night and I've got a plasma cutter. I've never had a plasma cutter, never played with a plasma cutter, always wanted a plasma cutter, and now I've got one. So that'll be a video coming soon. Let's hope we don't burn the shed down. So, that's it for this week. See you next week for another Wednesday waffle, and hopefully I'll get an unboxing video of this out in the meantime, because a kid with a new toy can't wait to play with it, can he? See you soon. Bye for now.